Hannah.
And I'm Matt Hanna.
And this is Horror Hour with the Hannahs.
Where we talk about our favorite Scooby-Doo movies.
In the wise words of Bodies, today's episode is a podcast about hanging out with your smartest and funniest friend. So here we are, joined by Matt.
Our most recurring guest.
It's your boy. I'm back again.
It's been a little hiatus.
A little bit, but I've been trying to keep it alive in the shorts and in the TikToks. So
And you're in every episode with spoilers because the spoiler zone with the horn.
Oh yeah.
Is in every episode now.
Hell yeah. I'm here. I'm always here.
Yeah, really the most reoccurring. If you include that, he's in the most episodes.
You had a little siren with it now. I don't know if you've heard it yet, but
oh yeah,
there's a little siren that goes a little aerated sign.
It's good.
Yeah, look at me.
It's some good shit.
That's great.
Well, you were here because you are a Scooby-Doo aficionado like myself.
Die Hard.
I would say that we are both similar levels of Scooby-Doo awareness.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Scooby-Doo love. Hannah is kind of no, you're not a noob, but I don't know if I'd say you're on our level.
No, I'm not. I didn't watch the cartoons as much when I was younger. I watched like the ones I owned, but it's definitely not the ones that you guys always talk about. So then I don't know what the fuck I saw.
I watched Scooby-Doo Where Are You so much that I thought it was running while I was a kid and was on regular TV, not realizing it was from 1969 and 1970.
Yeah,
because it was on Cartoon Network.
I was gonna say, I remember my dad was big into like old cartoons too, so he would always put them on just to have something for me that he also enjoyed. I remember I always used to watch the ones with like guest stars, like the Harlem Globetrotters and like Batman.
That was what Scooby-Doo, All-Star Scooby-Doo or something like that?
I was going to say, there's a few that like where they had the movies, but I think there was a whole series where they had just
with
like,
that might have been
Cena?
So no, that's way later.
I'm talking
way
about
later.
No,
there's
I
a
know.
show. There was also the new Scooby-Doo movies, which were like 30-minute long full episodes, or it was either 30-minute or hour, but that came after What's New Scooby-Doo. Because there was like What's New, All-Star, Scooby-Doo, and that was later, Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. There's all a bunch. And then finally a pup named Scooby-Doo, which was like the parody show.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think, is when we got what we're getting into, which is what I call the adult time quadrilogy. I don't know. What's a good name for it?
The golden age.
The golden age.
Renaissance.
The golden quadrilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island today. Before we get into episode details, because we are talking about Scooby-Doo, we asked our followers on the socials, what is your favorite piece of children's media?
Horror media.
Yes.
Yeah,
children's
there you go. I was about to
media.
say.
Yep. You're so right, bestie. Nothing to Fear podcast said the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books, which, side note,
big picks.
One of those really scared me when I was younger.
Just one?
Oh, there was two that really scared me.
Tell us which ones, because I'm sure I'll know.
The one that I remember most was someone like driving in a car and they're seeing like someone flash headlights at them and they're like,
classic.
This person's following me, and then they pull into the driveway.
Is that from that book? I thought that's just a classic horror story.
I thought that was from that book.
I don't remember that being the book, but maybe you're right. I mean, there were like 3 of them, so.
Yeah.
All right, and then what's the other one?
Fingers.
The finger in the box one?
I think.
It's like where they're like, don't touch the finger, and when they touch the finger, it disappears, and they have to cut off the kid's finger. That's the one?
Okay, maybe I'm lying about which the second one is. I actually just might be a story someone told me at a sleepover, so I'm just gonna retract. Okay. It's the car one.
The car one.
Finger.
Well, that's a good pick.
I'll be wondering about that all night.
Those books were crazy, so
yeah,
big fan.
Right. Paranormal in Pennsylvania's Sarah said the Scary Godmother series and Scooby-Doo.
Oh my god, yo, that just unlocked.
Scary Godmother's the really like kind of ugly 3D animation with the kid that gets his face stuck. The smiling.
Oh man,
there's a bunch of Scary Godmother, right?
Scary Godmother.
Yeah. I remember that.
I don't.
Wow.
It was like a made-for-TV Nickelodeon.
They played it every Halloween, dog.
Yeah. There were a couple of them. But and then she goes to the Scary Godmother house, and there's like all the horror Universal monsters, Dracula and his son show up.
They're super cool.
It's like Hotel Transylvania before there was Hotel Transylvania, in my mind.
She also said Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School.
Oh, that one's really good.
Yeah.
I skipped one. There was a show that was like Scooby-Doo and Scrappy
was,
too or something.
yeah,
And that was the
yeah,
gang
it was-
wasn't there. It was just Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy, which that was a movie that was part of The Reluctant Werewolf, which was a racing movie.
Reluctant
I kind of
Werewolf
like
was
The
good.
Reluctant Werewolf. Arabian Nights.
I watched that again recently, and I still love it. It's
I
still so
liked
good.
it too. Oh,
I
and the
hated
Boo
that
Brothers,
one.
which
And
was
the Boo
also good. The
Brothers,
Boo
yeah.
Brothers, which was just that one was really good, but there was just supposed to be the what's it called? The
Hey, do you
Three
think I
Stooges.
could get through
Sorry.
the icebreaker question?
All right,
from
well,
the
I just wanted
socials?
to wanted to remember the Boo Brothers.
Okay,
They were the Three
that's great.
Stooges, though. That was my point.
JD43081 said Watership Down, which I have no idea what that is.
Oh, dog! That's that British bunny movie.
I didn't know that was considered a children's horror. I thought that was just like
It's
I guess it's children's.
I mean, it's like a cartoon about bunnies. So
and war.
If I was a parent back then,
shit.
I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna take my. But it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like brutal.
yeah, it's like horrific.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I know of it.
Bunnies
for
killing
pop
bunnies
culture
in the
reasons.
streets.
Okay. Movie Postmortem Podcast said, Are you afraid of the dark?
That was past my time. Or no, I was
No.
pre that time, is what I mean. Are You Afraid of the Dark was like big, and I was like a little young when that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what I mean.
You
That's what I'm
said it
saying.
wrong.
I did. Yep.
Both times, I think, though.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay,
No, it
anyway.
was pre my time. That
Yeah,
makes
but
sense.
you said it wrong. Okay. And Heather Stewart said, I grew up with Gremlins and Return to Oz.
Yeah, those were also pre my time.
Those were before us. But, like, obviously, you've seen Gremlins.
Yep.
Aaron Pad99 said Paranorman, which he described as hilarious, poignant, and beautifully animated, and hot take, better than Coraline.
Paranorman, now that's past my time. That would not be a children's media I was watching.
I don't think I
unfortunately.
ever watched Paranorman.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it
have
out though.
not
Better than
either.
Coraline, that is high praise.
I'm scared of Coraline, so I don't
Hannah
know.
doesn't like claymation very much.
Claymation scares the fuck out of me.
Interesting.
So
It's so scary.
upsettingly, no one named what I think is the most critical piece of horror children's media, which is Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. No one
And
said it.
no one said it. I think one of the most influential for me in like my love of horror and cartoons, to be honest, and really like holds up completely. Maybe even better than Scooby-Doo in some ways, at least the traditional Scooby-Doo.
Scarier than
Scarier, I think. Yeah, definitely scarier. And
Okay.
I know we've talked about it before, but Courage is sweet. I really want to do a retrospective episode. I want to do a show where we just do Courage the Cowardly Dog personally at some
Well,
point.
you
So
don't do enough work for this one, so you don't get to.
I'll do a Courage one.
podcast.
I'll do a Courage podcast. Matt and I are going to.
just
Have
courage.
fun.
You could every episode.
Okay.
You do a 20-minute episode on every episode of Courage
Jeez,
the Cowardly Dog.
crepes,
All right,
bro. We're
if you
8
want to
minutes
comment,
into this,
if
and
you want to comment,
I'm not done.
comment, like, let us know. But
We don't want
we're
to.
having fun.
Okay, the last answer I got from Opening Kill Podcast said Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Hell yes,
And I
brother.
said,
That's it.
I
That is
responded
it.
and gave like the side eye and said, you might be looking forward to one of our future episodes.
They got
then."
this place bugged.
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay, so Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Let's go over some background. It was directed by Jim Stenstrum and written by Glenn Leopold, both of whom had been working on Scooby-Doo films for a while at that point. Many of the original voice actors of the series were replaced for the film, although Frank Welker returned to voice Fred. Scooby-Doo's popularity had actually grown in the 90s due to reruns airing on Cartoon Network.
was us.
So, yeah,
That's how we got into
that's
it.
our generation
Yep.
and, like, millennials. And so Time Warner, which is the channel's parent company, had suggested developing direct-to-video film about Scooby-Doo. So that is what had inspired these.
Give that man a raise.
Yeah. Dude did it right. I spent all day saying direct to DVD before I
Direct to-
realized,
yeah.
oh my god, it was direct to VHS.
Well,
Yes.
So this was even crazier. This was 1998. So we were 2 when this came out.
Yeah.
So I hadn't even developed my love of Scooby-Doo yet. But when I saw this, it felt like it had just come out.
Oh yeah.
And I saw this at way too young of an age for how scary it was. So, but tell us some more.
Well, this film, at first, they hadn't planned to make 4 in the quadrilogy, as we have called it.
The Golden Quadrilogy
Okay, sure.
The timeless golden quadrilogy
of adulthood.
and Scoop and Zuby.
Zuby. The Zuby adult timeline.
Yeah.
But because this one's considered a one-off, they had very little oversight and complete creative freedom.
And
Which
it
is pretty
shows.
lit,
It shows
yeah.
after. I mean, we just watched this, 10 minutes ago for those
Yes.
listening. So
My last background fact. We had talked about this before watching the movie, that Casey Kasem had not returned to the role of Shaggy for the film. So I wanted to share why, because I think it's really fucking funny.
I'm excited.
Casey Kasem was a vegetarian.
Hi. You guessed it. Matt guessed this. That's funny.
And he demanded Shaggy also give up eating meat in future productions, even refusing to voice Shaggy in a Burger King commercial of the time.
That is so funny.
Wow.
So Casey Kasem, the traditional Shaggy, has done that voice a ton. Rest in peace. That is so silly, though, because, like, given who the character is, other than him being a hippie, there's no way he'd be a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is written into the character, loves to eat anything.
And so that was why they rejected it. They said, no, eating is like the
His whole
core
thing.
of your character, so we can't limit that.
A chocolate-covered eggplant burger.
That is vegetarian.
That is actually vegetarian.
Yeah,
So-
wow.
Wow, okay.
Damn. But a great delivery. And at that point, production on Zombie Island had also already begun, and like they'd already done the scene with Shaggy eating crawfish, so they were like, bro, sorry, like we cannot accommodate that.
Crawfish is basically vegetarian, you know? It's sea
not.
bugs.
But it's
It
not.
is bugs.
It's bugs.
Bugs is not vegetarian.
Ah.
So Shaggy was recast with voice actor Billy West, but then at the last minute they were like, you could redub over him if you want your part, and he was like, no, vegetarianism more important.
Billy West did a good job. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised. I thought it was Casey Kasem before I went in. But I kind of feel like this Billy West one he does here does kind of influence the future sound of the voice. So, like this voice is more Matthew Lillard's whatever we call it. His version is
Interpretation,
closer
yeah.
to the Billy West than I would say it is to Casey Kasem's original. So,
Matthew
interesting.
Lillard is everything.
Matthew Lillard, I mean, he ended up voicing some of the cartoons later, too.
He did, yeah.
which
After
is
the
like
movie,
a big deal.
They brought him on. What a god.
Yeah,
I
actually,
love
though,
him
God
so
Amongst
much.
Men.
Oh, man.
Stu,
That my boy.
go back to Scream.
That my boy. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's do...
also in Twin Peaks season 3.
Yeah, bitch, we know. We know. Thank you.
All right.
So let's do our 15-second summaries. Matt?
Oh my God, we're
timer?
there already. Holy
Might as
shit.
well be,
All
bro.
right, let's do 15-second summaries. All right, I'm pulling it up.
I'll let you guys talk. I've been doing
All right,
a lot of
Matt, do a 15-second summary. You ready?
Sure.
Go.
Investigating, trying to find real ghosts in the Louisiana bayou. They find some zombies. They end up being, kind of the good guys. The cats are wrong, but the cat god is real somehow. Real cat god.
And that's it. That's all you get. The cat god's real.
Real cat god.
All right, you ready? Me. I'm ready.
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
ready for me? All right, the Mystery Inc. is back in action, and they are on an island. And there happen to be some morally questionable zombies that are no longer morally questionable in the afterlife. And they protect them from some definitely not morally questionable cat people. And then they're real. Cool.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Scooby-Doo and the gang versus cats.
The musical.
Facts. I was going to just
Don't,
say
son.
it's
questionable.
morally questionable. Well, they were morally questionable humans that became less morally
Yeah.
Morally.
questionable people.
Yeah.
Zombies. Yeah.
No one can talk in this shit.
It's
all
tough.
right.
Talking is almost impossible.
Yeah, and we decided
Let's have a pod.
let's
Let's talk.
at people for an hour.
I'm eloquent sometimes. I can be real good.
Only sometimes.
All right.
Matt, give us our
The
summary.
full plot description of Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island. And I'm going to just say right here, if you haven't seen this movie, what are you doing with your life?
You gotta say
Oh
it.
my god, this
Like-
description's so long.
It's very long. No, but for real though, like this is the one time I'm going to tell you to leave this podcast and
The
watch
one
this.
time. The one time.
Yeah.
Don't
I'll never
maybe,
ask this of
maybe
you
if
again.
you haven't seen this, maybe don't come back. I'm kidding.
my
Go-
God.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. Go
We'll
watch it
and
Nope.
then come back.
Go watch it, then come back. It's important. You will be a better person because of it. Okay.
Sure.
So here's our full plot description. So Mystery Inc. goes their separate ways after becoming bored of mystery solving. Daphne, along with Fred, starts running a successful television series from coast to coast. determined to hunt down a real ghost rather than a fake one. Sometime later, Fred contacts Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby to reunite for Daphne's birthday. They embark on a road trip scouting haunted locations across the U.S. for Daphne's show, only to encounter more fake monsters. Arriving in New Orleans, they are invited by Lena Dupree to visit her workplace at Moonscar Island, an island allegedly haunted by the ghost of its pirate namesake, Morgan Moonscar. On the island, they meet ferryman Jacques, Lena's employer, Simone, and Simone's gardener, Beau. Shaggy and Scooby encounter Moonscar's ghost, who becomes a zombie, while the gang receives several ghostly warnings to leave. That night, Shaggy and Scooby are chased by a horde of zombies. Velma suspects Beau, while Fred and Daphne capture a zombie, believing it is a human culprit, until Fred pulls its head off, revealing that the zombies are real. As the horde chases them, the gang gets separated in a cave. Shaggy and Scooby discover wax voodoo dolls resembling Fred, Velma, and Daphne and play with them, unknowingly controlling their friends until the pair disturb a nest of bats. The rest of the gang and Beau discover a secret passageway in the house where Lena claims the zombies drag Simone away. The passageway leads to a secret chamber for voodoo rituals where Velma confronts Lena about her lie, having seen Simone's footprints instead of drag marks. After trapping the gang with the voodoo dolls, Simone and Lena reveal themselves and Jacques as werecats. Simone explains that 200 years ago, she and Lena were part of a group of settlers on the island who worshipped a cat god. When Moonscar and his crew invaded the island, they chased the settlers into the bayou, where they were eaten alive by alligators. But Simone and Lena escaped. They prayed to their god to curse Moonscar and were transformed into immortal werecats. They killed the pirates, but later realized that invoking their god's power had also cursed them. Every harvest moon since, they have to lure and exploit victims to drain their lives and preserve their immortality, hiring Jacques along the way to facilitate their plot in exchange for making him immortal. With the zombies and ghosts being their previous victims, who awaken every harvest moon to try and scare people away to prevent them from suffering the same fate. While being chased by Jacques, Shaggy and Scooby disrupt the werecats' draining ceremony, allowing the gang to free themselves. The werecats surround them, but realize too late that the harvest moon is past, causing them to disintegrate to dust and put the zombie souls to rest. Beau reveals himself as an undercover police officer who was sent to investigate disappearances on the island. Daphne asks Beau to guest star on her show before everyone leaves the next morning.
Bro,
Roll
you
credits.
just made an hour movie take.
It was a 77-minute movie with credits.
Okay, chill.
I hate it so much when people interrupt my draining ceremony.
Nice.
So this movie,
Good one.
we chose this not only because
We love
this
it.
household loves Scooby-Doo and
Huge.
these two love this movie,
In this house,
but also
we pray to
because
Scooby-Doo.
it is going with our month theme.
Zombie month.
It is the first film of Zombie Month, so we decided to start off a little fun, a little goofy, a little lighthearted before we get into movies that make us cry.
Interestingly enough, this has maybe the most unique zombie lore of any zombie movie. And most other ones kind of have similar things. This one's very, very different. Like, there's no infection. There's no spreading of like that. They're not really bad guys. They're all very different. You know, it's a good twist.
Yeah, it's like the magic that changes them instead of, biting or infection or whatever.
Yeah.
So very different.
So not a very traditional. I was saying it's kind of a traditional zombie in that it's more similar, I guess, to like the Haitian voodoo zombie versus the more modern Romero zombie.
Well, and Romero's zombie is inspired by the Haitian voodoo zombie. That's where the name zombie comes from.
Of course, but I mean,
From the
in terms
religion.
of like lore and turning, it slowly went from Romero's, which was like you die, you turn, to eventually you get bit, you turn.
Yeah.
And it changed as time went along. But yeah, so let's talk about this movie. I want to talk about like the first time I ever watched it first and
Go
like what we
ahead.
did beforehand. I've seen this movie. This had to be upwards of 10 times. No, Matt, are you on that boat?
Many
I had to have
times.
owned it. At one point, I was not allowed to watch this movie because it scared me so bad upon first viewing. Because, you watch Scooby-Doo. You love Scooby-Doo. You're watching specifically like the season 1 and 2 of Scooby-Doo. Where Are You? On reruns on Cartoon Network. Yeah. Pop, all the other ones as well, but those two are big. The monsters are never real. It's a little scary, but at the end, no real monster.
Yeah.
What happens here, though, so your parents put this on, and then all of a sudden, there's real-ass zombies running around that are actual dead people come back to life, and they're scary looking. They're good looking. They're fucking gross, and it's all real, and immediately I did not sleep, and I feel like my sleep issue started with this movie and lasted,
Bro.
I'm not kidding. Why are you blowing me? I
so
actually
distracted by this freaking dog.
That's crazy. This
actually-
is what started your sleep problems.
No. I legitimately had like I don't remember being scared to go to bed until after this movie.
I would love to know if the audience thinks it's more pathetic to have sleep problems from Scooby-Doo or from E.T. Because E.T. is still my sleep problem.
Well, no.
Matt, what do you think is it?
I watched E.T. for the first time last year.
Did you love
Oh,
it?
well, then you can't.
Yeah.
You won't
Did it
get
make you cry?
No.
It makes me cry.
Do you think the design of E.T. is scary?
No.
Oh.
Not really, no.
Do you think his voice is scary? Do you think
Yeah,
him
when he does that scream, I was like,
him
if I was a
turning
child, I'd be
white.
like, this is awful.
I
This is awful,
love that
guys.
movie and Hannah won't watch it. So
My dad used to hide under my bed and do the E.T. phone home voice.
I know you've told the story before.
Man.
He fucked me up. Not everyone here has heard it, and you
So-
need to know when we're while talking about.
I
E.T.
want to say a couple more things. I do remember for
Okay.
years being scared of like the window in my room, being scared to go to bed. I feel like it was years.
Why were you scared of the window?
Were you more
scared the
scared
zombies
of
were
the
gonna come in the window,
Yeah,
the moon.
were you more scared of the zombies or the werecats?
I did
Because
no
when I
problem
was a
with
kid, I
cats.
was more scared of the ladies.
No, I had no problem with the cat.
the ladies were the bad ones.
The
And
ladies.
then my mom would be like,
Matt
"That's the
is
zombie."
scared of ladies.
My mom would be like, the zombies
Still
are the
to
good
this day.
guys, though. Like what Daphne says, no, didn't matter. I just would see like Morgan Moonscar's zombie corpse when I closed my eyes, and I swear like that was what started. So I wasn't allowed to watch the movie, and then eventually I was able to be brave. Years later. And go back to it. You can verify with my mom. Ask her. I was not allowed to watch after watching it the first time.
We'll jot that down.
Yep.
Matt is afraid of Scooby-Doo zombies, and the other Matt is afraid of women.
Women.
Yes.
All of them.
So, watching it again here, though, I had so much fun with things I didn't remember, and I just think this movie is pretty amazing. We'll get into that, but I want to know your first time watching.
I have no fucking idea.
You have no recollection.
No recollection at all. At all.
Amnesia.
And I didn't even remember most of the movie until the cat transformation. And then I was like, oh yeah, I've definitely seen this.
That's crazy because I feel like I remember every scene exactly.
Well,
as
dude,
is,
I
like,
can
like
quote-
photographic memory of it.
I can quote the live action movies, but the cartoons I
come
have
on.
less access to.
The bronze era compared to the golden era.
Sorry.
The live action's fine. This movie actually feels very similar to the live action, and it came out first.
Yeah, there's a lot of
similar plot
jokes
points.
that are literally taken from this into the live action, which loved.
And Matt, your first experience, you remember it?
I remember when I was young watching this movie, and I don't remember like scene by scene, but I do remember as soon as the ladies turned into cats, I freaked out. I was really scared. When Jacques turned into a cat, I was really afraid. Something about the cats. Honestly, I feel like I don't remember being that afraid of the zombies. Like I was like, ooh, these zombies are pretty gross. But I'd also probably watched Raiders of the Lost Ark with my mom before I watched this movie. Shout out my mom. And
PG.
that's like, there's like the scene with the Nazis dying, which is
Getting their faces melted.
yeah. So I had like gone through all that. So I was like, all right, these cartoon zombies are no problem, but these cartoon women, terrifying.
Maybe, I mean, did you know you were allergic to cats at that point? Because maybe there was a unconscious bias.
No, but I did. I had my throat closed up while watching it, so that probably had something to do with it.
Yeah, it's all correlated. Watching this as an adult, having gone to New Orleans at this point in my life, that made this movie infinitely more exciting.
I agree. We were pointing stuff. We were Leo pointing meme.
We were like, we ate that. We ate that also.
We've been there.
The accents were also seemed pretty good. The Cajun accents.
I was so excited to see Fred eating beignets and getting powdered sugar all over his face.
Been there.
And then also the boys eating their po' boys.
And then the Spanish moss of the swamps.
Yes, it was so fun. Maybe we should post photos from our trip to
back,
go
yeah.
along with this movie.
Also seeing them in the French Quarter, very specifically in the French Quarter.
Yeah, that was so fun.
and
Check
that-
it out on Instagram. We'll post our photos.
I do want to shout out, if we don't get to it at some point, but I kept saying how incredible the background artists were. The cells they used for background shots were kind of impeccable. I like some of the best art I've seen in the classic 2D animation where they're having two different teams draw these separate. Like those guys went hard, like harder than they needed to for all these background shots.
It was like walking through a museum, dog.
It was
like
weird,
an art
right?
museum. It was
Yes,
gorgeous.
Yes, it was gorgeous. That's a good way to put it. We're not being like hyperbolic here, and I don't think that they do that in the future Golden Era quadrilogy adult timeline.
Yeah, I don't
At least
think
not to
it's
this degree.
done in the same
I was
degree.
going to say, I'm not sure. I feel like, in my mind, Witch's Ghost feels
It's similar,
like a very similar looking movie.
because they go up to where is it? Salem there, or it's basically Salem, and so they got that like fall foliage and everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it compares to the night bayou, like starry skies. But I agree that both of them had a
Maybe
lot
it's
of
just because
effort.
Matt hasn't been to Salem, but he's
Maybe I
been
gotta
to
get
New
to Salem.
Orleans,
Maybe,
so
yeah.
it's really standing out. I've been to Salem. It's also super fucking cool.
Yeah, so I just had to shout that out. We'll probably talk about that again later. But
Boys, we should go to Salem. Is that a
I'm down.
future
Salem would be a cool place to
future
go
couples
to.
trip? It's very cool. The history and the spooky stuff.
Heck yeah.
It's all around like
Yeah.
such a cool area.
so, all right,
Anyway,
we like this movie though. I'm gonna start with there. So
General positive views.
I'll go to you, Hannah.
this
Tell
is just
us.
like goofy shit. I love watching Scooby and Shaggy eat so much. Like it's always been a trope that I think we all relate to on some level. And I, loving hot food specifically, have found that I have done similar nonsensical things with peppers that these two do. Like where they're both eating like the hottest pepper possible and then freaking out, or just like coating their sandwich in them. Like, I just felt so seen. Younger me would have really felt seen had she remembered.
That's what they're
this
going for.
movie.
This is a children's movie, sort of. I call it a children's movie. However, there are many jokes and plot points that did not went straight over my head as a kid. So
There was a joke, you're a bunch of gargonzolas, which I still don't get, but I love it. I thought I was really fucking funny, so we're just gonna put that out into the universe. Call me a gargonzola and I'll thank you.
tell me some other stuff as the non Scooby-Doo aficionado. Not here. What else did you
Shaggy
like?
referred to being chased by 1/3 of a BLT.
Okay, yeah, we're being chased by a
all
boar.
the food jokes. See, it's the food.
It is the food, dog. It's your
man.
gateway
They're all,
in.
That's my gateway to Scooby-Doo is food. No, I think this movie is obviously very fun. I think that it's really funny how long it takes. I feel like for the true spooky stuff to actually happen. I feel like there's so much like world building of them being in New Orleans and why they're there.
and then being split up and coming back together.
Yeah, like I very much expected the writing on the wall to appear sooner. That's like the first major spooky thing. So that I found that like actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, and that's a great question or great thought. Like, why do they go with that? And I think it's because we ourselves have not seen
Exactly.
Scooby-Doo in so long. At least we had because we were watching the show. That
But like in theory, there was a gap.
The idea was that there's a gap. They're split up. Now they are adults. Because in the show, it's very clear that they're like high school age or like college age. So now it's like Shaggy and Scooby are working at the TSA. Hilarious.
Great
Fantastic joke.
Iconic.
Like Velma has a bookstore, which we kind of say is odd for her character, but I kind of like it. She's burnt out. She doesn't want to go to NASA anymore.
Yeah, it's the high achieving,
then-
all honors kid being like, I quit.
Yeah, and then of course like Daphne and Fred are still together doing like entertainment. Like it's this really fun idea of like where would these guys end up, and then okay, let's bring them back together.
And the setup of Daphne being on TV and using the talk show as an exposition dump to get all of that across.
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
us.
we were saying how great of a dump that was.
Yeah. When you're going to give exposition, you need to sometimes, especially when you only have like an hour and 10 minutes to tell your whole story. It's just a great way to sort of work it in to where contextually it feels appropriate to be saying it at all. I will also say, just on the same vein of this, like, the breaking up, the moving forward too. I think it's a great sort of like moving into the next like conceptual phase of Scooby-Doo, right? Because
I
this is
completely
now
agree.
the beginning, and they do this in all four of the quadrillion.
The golden age adult timeline Scooby-Doo quadrilogy.
Yeah, Zooby, the Zooby.
Scooby-Doo.
Where now what's happening in these plots is that there are real monsters, but then there are people behind them as well. And so we now see that in all of them. So this is a complete flipping of the formula where and they acknowledge that in the beginning of the movie where it's like, we are tired of just unveiling men in masks. We want to see real monsters. And that's how they progress forward. And that continues through all four of those movies.
And you make a point you bring me to a point that I've made before where it's a shame that it ended with the 4. And then we went back to the formula with What's New Scooby-Doo right after, which is kind of widely known as like a weaker entry. Although I think a lot of people don't see the original as like that strong of a show anyway. It just was very influential. But I think like watching Zombie Island and being a fan of all other Scooby-Doo media, I'm like, oh my God, it took everything that I like and enhanced all the things that are good and like got rid of anything that was bad. It's like we upped the humor, we upped like the character a lot. It's better looking, the scares are better, and it kind of like, and the mystery is maybe even cooler than any of the ones we've done before.
Yeah.
And it's like I always get a little sad that they didn't figure out a way to like keep going with this timeline, and instead it's like reboot time. And then another reboot with Mystery Incorporated, and then another reboot.
Although Mystery Incorporated, I feel like does also change up the formula in a
100%
big way, where it's
agree.
Continuous.
But at that point, I was kind of past the age of watching Scooby-Doo cartoons, although I have watched most of it at this point. But
never past the age.
Never past the age for Scooby-Doo. But I just think this did everything. This movie in particular, and I even think the 4 just did everything right with the formula. And like it enhanced it for future generations, enhanced it for adults.
I mean, part of me is like, I'm kind of glad that it was 4, because I really love all 4 of these.
I agree.
I've watched them all pretty recently. And I never want, the things that I like to be too much. Like, I'm not trying to be gluttonous with my good Scooby-Doo, right? If there's just 4 really solid in the Zooby quadrillion, then I'm happy about that,
Get it.
And I'm grateful.
I would have loved to have like an adult timeline show, I guess, because like I look back on these movies and I'm like, oh, this is great. Like I could have done with a couple more instead of the What's New Scooby-Doo movies and the show.
But also keep in mind, like, this is supposed to be a show for adolescents, so it makes sense to keep them younger. Like, that is just a common trope of shows meant for young people are featuring young people.
I get it.
I get it as an adult.
I think it's also, I also just really like the level of effort that went into these 4 movies.
Yeah.
That was something.
Yeah.
I also love how in depth we're talking about a Scooby-Doo children's movie right now. But like, there was a shit ton of effort. And I said that from the beginning. It was like from all aspects of this movie, it had more effort than basically any of the cartoons, really. Or any of the shows.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is a cartoon. So any of the like shows.
And I mean, like,
any of the other movies too.
That, like, you could see that effort throughout every part
shot.
of this. Like, every shot, every part. I mean, there's like big players in this movie as well. Freaking Mark Hamill's in this movie. Jim Gunn's in this movie. Like, there's like huge voice acting legends that showed up for this movie. It looks fantastic. It's super well storied.
Got banger songs.
Holy
yo.
shit,
We just talked about those. Tell us your fun facts.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. So one of my favorite things about this movie, which I didn't know until I looked up some things about in preparation to this episode, was that the opening credits, the Scooby-Doo song, is performed by Third Eye Blind, which is just like the most 90s thing they could have possibly done.
Iconic.
It's incredible. It's kind of understated too, because it's not like an in-your-face version of it or anything. But
they didn't need people to know it was them. They weren't showing off.
They weren't. They did it for the love, I'd like to think.
I think so.
Yeah, no, I think they're true Scooby-Doo aficionados and lovers.
They
probably worshippers of the cat god.
Yeah.
Cat god feels, I mean, even though it's canonically in Louisiana, it feels very California.
Cat
Okay, I
god.
see it. Hey, the Egyptians had cat
I was about
gods,
to
right?
say Egypt
there we
is
go.
the easy answer.
That is true too. Are they Egyptian in that movie? We can't.
That would be.
No, they're definitely like some
Cultural
Hollands that
appropriation.
came over. They're like
Yeah, I was
little
gonna
pilgrims.
say, they're white as
Or I guess they are. She sounds Cajun, but Simone.
Well, she's been there
But-
how long? So
Yeah,
you develop
she's
an accent.
just
You don't have
developed
to be
the
there.
Cajun accent.
Sure, yeah.
Like if we raised
But
a
Lena
kid
developed
in
a
England,
different accent, not a Cajun accent.
yeah, that's an odd
funny.
choice, but that's fine. Okay, but also Terror Time.
Oh,
Holy
and
shit!
they got 2 songs, that band in this movie. They're like a nobodies. They just
Sky
made this-
Cycle, dog.
Sky Cycle.
Sky Cycle.
So they have
Shout
Terror
out Sky
Time
Cycle.
and what's the other one called? About the ghost being fake. Oh, I don't know.
We didn't retain it.
It doesn't matter that much.
No,
All right,
we got to give them their
we gotta give them
flowers.
their- Well, Terror Time is on our Halloween
Fucking
playlist.
sick.
We listen to
bro.
it every year, and it is sick. It has this great montage of the zombies coming after them, and love it. Matt, while you look that up, since I'm talking about zombies coming after them, I think we talked about a lot. We need to talk about the twist in this movie.
The ghost is here.
The ghost is here. There we go.
Yeah. Way to go, Sky Cycle.
And I know you said you wanted to talk about the twist, and you held on while we were watching to not speak on it then. So I want to give you an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean the twist in this movie is so fantastic. It's so layered. I adore this movie for exactly that reason. There's the initial twist that the monsters are real. This is the first time in Scooby-Doo we see monsters that are real. Fred rips the head off a zombie. And
childhood Matt shits his pants.
every child in front of their
Quaking in the
TV screen
boots.
is like, so
Shit on floor.
That's fantastic. Already,
Pee
you've
pants.
superseded the expectations of all your child viewers. And then you go and introduce a secondary villain only to simultaneously reveal that the initial villain, the real monsters, are not villainous at all. In fact, they're there trying to warn the gang and save them from this horrible fate. And that's so sick.
It
So
is
sick.
so sick.
It's so beautiful
that is like-
thematically.
Yeah, that is good writing.
Yeah, because you are going, the monsters are real, and they've been looking for a real ghost, a real monster, but like the monsters aren't really the monsters.
But the
Other
real
than maybe
monsters
the
aren't the
Confederate, the
monsters.
Confederate zombies.
I was-
and,
That
you
is
know,
true. There were
I
some
was-
Confederate zombies.
Pirate zombies aren't great either.
I was
say-
going to bring that up. I felt some kind of way. Obviously, I know it's in New Orleans, so
They gotta hit
I
that
know
historical
it
accuracy.
would be accurate to have Confederates, but like, we didn't need to show any serving any veterans in the film. That if we're going to show
I
the
think
Confederates
I
being
think-
helpful.
I think it's kind of cool, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, like, yeah, we all know
I'm
we feel, but like, hey,
anti-Confederacy.
oh, for sure. But like,
personally.
if this is going to be their, I mean, it's American history, right?
Yeah, no shit,
And
bitch.
They're
it's
there,
in
dog.
Louisiana. If this is going to be their reparations in this, they're not reparations, but their
Bro, what?
their penance. If this is going to be, if this is going to be the Confederates' penance, is to do this one
Save
good thing, to do these
some-
soldiers. Yeah, I mean. And I think it leads
like
to
not
another
enough,
point.
but, you
It's
know.
I know.
not. Certainly
I'm fucking around.
Yeah,
but,
let's not give them their flowers
so-
for this.
But I think it's great zombie design to have them in like uniforms walking around. It makes sense for where they are. 'Cause I said there was like a base, but Matt had pointed out the nuance of the twist is that it's actually in front of your face the entire time. And I think one of the hints is that there are a lot of different eras of zombies. It's not just Moonscar and
Yeah,
the
it's not
pirates.
just pirates.
Also,
Yeah.
pirates are also very bad.
Yeah, but
from
pirates
what we
are
know
cool.
of.
So
Yeah, but
there's
they're
no-
okay.
Fun bad.
Fun bad.
Yeah,
Fun
like
bad.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, sure.
exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're talking.
I mean, they did
swords.
feed, a whole colony to alligators,
did.
but
We'll
you know.
just forget about
I,
that for a
but,
sec.
but I'm saying that this is.
But they
this
didn't
is
do
their
it for
penance.
the South. They.
Yeah, they
Oh,
did
true,
it.
true. They didn't do it for
Southern
question
Africa.
mark reasons.
Yes. Well, I did say morally ambiguous. Some of the zombies not so a little questionable.
That's true.
Or morally questionable, I think was my word. So you have the zombies that are pirates. You have zombies that are Confederate soldiers. You have zombies that are in other old timey outfits. You get some like gangster looking zombies. Eventually, they say there was a trade.
Zombies in
You get
Hawaiian shirts,
Hawaiian shirts with
bitch.
cameras,
Yeah.
and they're tourists. And you're like,
Iconic.
you start. I mean, as a kid, I'm too dumb.
Yeah,
My
you're just
pea
like
brain
zombies
is
as
not-
zombies.
Zombies are scary, but like
Yeah.
as an adult, I'm like, oh my god, there's the hints of this. It's pretty clear that they're not trying to harm them. Like at one point, one of the zombies hands Shaggy a rope to help get Scooby out
Yeah,
of the
while they're
quicksand,
running
and you
from
just it's
them.
so quick you don't
Yeah.
think about it. And I really think the nuance in it's really cool, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. That's just it's not an opportunity that they needed to take, but it is one that they did take, and
Yeah,
that sort of
it's
attention
effort.
to detail. Like, there's no waste. There's no waste in this movie.
Can we talk about the ultimate villain being cat people, though?
Yeah. So this is a plot relevant thing. I'm so glad you brought this up. Cat people in general cats are the villains of my life personally.
Okay.
Well, you're allergic. I'll let you have it. But outside of that, you're not allowed to slander my children.
Yeah. I mean, they're like, apparently they're God's villain as well. Because
yeah.
there's the point in this movie, right, is that these two women watch their whole settlement get fed to alligators, and they pray to their cat god. And cat god turns them into werecats and gives them the ability to drain the life out of people, and they use it. Does this mean? Follow me on this one. Does this mean that cat god is real?
Yeah.
Cat god is real. This
Cat
proves
God's real.
cat god is real, right? Because if there was no cat
Canonically.
god, nothing would have happened.
Yeah, canonically, cat
Right?
god real.
Cat god is real.
In the Scooby-Doo universe, cat god's real.
Yeah, this doesn't disprove other gods, but it definitely proves cat god real.
Yes, for sure.
So,
But look at Witch's Ghost. You now have a witch ghost being real. Like that kind of... Witches are, pretty tied to at least Christian mythology, right? Like that's a big part of... And like the devil, so
yeah.
So
I mean, it's like, I think they were more like
the
pagan.
devil might be
Whatever they were
you're
into.
right. I guess it was because the people
Yeah,
that
they were
purchasing
told
it
it
Let's
was-
not use Scooby-Doo as a way to get into a history lesson.
Oh, I more just meant.
move from
I was
that.
just more trying to see if any of
How many more gods we could
are
prove.
real based on the Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah, I mean, aliens are real.
Aliens are definitely
Aliens, cat god, which, I mean, I haven't seen aliens and cat god in the same room together.
The devil might be real. and
Devil
that's the
might be
witches.
real, and so is the internet.
The internet. Yeah.
I think that's the Zuby
Sentient
quadrillion.
viruses.
Yeah,
The scariest
AI.
villain
Yeah,
that there was.
No, come on.
the scariest. Like Scoob, all I see is smoke. I love Shaggy, man. That's my guy.
Same.
He is unbelievably funny in this movie.
Okay, but the
I'm sorry to
cat,
say.
but the villain being cat people is just so funny.
Cat people, dog.
Are you out on it? I was fully bought in at that point. They're zombies.
Again, I can't remember young me watching this, but I feel like I would have been like, the fuck?
Nah.
I went right along with it,
Yeah, I
dog.
was like, the cat
Honestly,
people just drain them. Duh.
Duh.
For a movie that is this self-aware, again, like how it flipped to the expectations of the audience on their heads like 3 times in this movie.
And not in a dumb way.
It's a movie about a talking dog. So having the main villain as a cat is incredible, right?
You know what? You make a fantastic point.
There it is.
A really great point.
They thought of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Speaking of talking dog, there were multiple times throughout this movie where I was like, get this guy a leash.
Yeah,
and then
They just have
Scooby
no
would be
control
like-
over him.
They'd refer to him as dog, and he'd be like, "Where?"
That's an old bit.
I know
Because we
that's
did-
an old bit, but oh god, it's so good.
That's a
every
bit
time.
that is funny every time.
yeah,
It's every
that
time.
and the food, like those bits, will never not hit.
Yeah.
But like him, just I don't know. Just every time he chased the cats, and the animators did a great job with the cats and the motion of like the bumblingness of a dog. And I have a dog, I know what it looks like. Like it made me like laugh out loud every time with him chasing these dumbass cats and his dumbass and Shaggy just getting dragged behind, like no control over his Great Dane.
No. Terrible dog owners.
Terrible.
Really
Terribly
irresponsible.
trained Great Dane.
Just I don't know. Everything about Scooby-Doo is just I love the concept.
Yeah.
It's a talking dog, you know.
Anything else about this film specifically that y'all wanted to go into
The
before?
friggin' character design in this film, there's a few things that happen amongst like the main group, right? This is like one of the, not the first time, but one of the more major costume changes for Fred and Daphne. Fred looks fantastic
It's a
in
great
a
design.
short sleeve button up and like a safari vest. It's a fantastic fit. Homie did not come to play. He is... so what did the youth say? He's leaving no crumbs. He is cunting the fuck out this movie.
He
Daphne kind of is too.
Daphne's killing. She's got
professional.
a color, dog. She's got a color. Purple pantsuit, fitted. Hillary Clinton could never. Like
She knows karate now.
she
which-
also there's a part in there where she does karate.
And it's like, did James Gunn just watch this and be like, I'm taking this? Like, no shame to him. I like those movies, but like,
I would
It is
steal everything from this movie.
perfect.
it kind of
anime.
did.
Like it stole everything from me.
Yeah. Yeah, it stole my sleep. Stole hours, years of sleep from me. There was something else I wanted to shout out that you were saying about the costumes.
The like all the side characters too. Freaking Mark Hamill's character, Snakeskin Boogie or whatever his name is. Like He has just a cool getup, and he's got that one like bad eye. He's got a friggin' boar named Mojo.
He's 1/3 of a BLT.
He's got 1/3 of a
design.
BLT,
Even
dog.
the gators are scary looking in
The
this movie.
gators are
gators
cool
are good.
looking. Moonscar's got a dope look too.
Yeah.
Every zombie had a lot of care.
Yeah, those as scary as those ladies are, dog, they're bad as hell before they're
I
cats.
did. Well,
Yeah,
and maybe
yeah.
after.
And maybe after, dog.
You know,
Hey.
if you're
I
into
loved
that.
her outfit that you guys were leaning
We were
Yeah,
trying to figure out
the
Lena's
purple
fit.
red
Yeah.
dress vest combo.
Yeah,
Lace up
cute.
vest is
It's a cute outfit.
yeah. Matched with the friggin' bandana and the hair. She had the
Yeah.
hoop earrings. She did not.
She was also serving.
She was there to lure
Yeah, well,
people
yes.
in, and she was doing her fucking job. All right.
Yeah, Fred was down bad.
Oh my god.
Fred was down bad,
He was. Yeah, he was foaming at the mouth.
and everyone was down bad for Bo.
Bo, holy
the cop.
dog! He comes out the friggin' like bayou, the trees and moss, wearing just his like tank top and jeans, and he's fucking ripped. He's so strong looking.
Fred was so insecure in this movie because of Bo, and I also love that.
I love that.
They really played on all the tropes of the characters too, which is
Yeah.
like, again, they took everything I
They
like.
know, yeah.
They took everything I like that like works and put it together and like removed any filler that we didn't need.
Mm-hmm.
And the one more thing I wanted to say was you made a point that Shaggy could not turn it off this movie.
Oh,
and it was
no.
great. Like, dude was scared out of his mind and could not stop cracking
Just
jokes.
ripping
And
one-liners.
all of them were so funny. Like, again, laugh out loud funny.
He's
You called him the Rodney Dangerfield
yeah.
of Mystery.
yeah, he was dog. He was like,
Like, even to just himself, he was just like
yeah,
saying this
nobody
silly shit.
around, no one around. He was just ripping one-liners about these zombies, dog. Just owning everyone he saw.
So, either way, the movie's funny. You want to talk themes, Hannah? I don't know.
Yeah, what's this movie mean, guys? What's
movie
this
was
movie
meant to
trying
make,
to tell us?
This is a positive representation of mental illness. This is one of the good ones.
Discuss.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, I was so
I
lost.
was like, where are you getting that?
I'm going to be able to pull something out of my ass.
No,
for
I
this
have-
one.
I have
If you, okay,
something.
well, I'll have one. But
Just
go ahead.
because something looks evil and scary doesn't mean it's bad at its core.
Yup.
You
yeah.
can be ugly
Don't judge a
and
book
be
by its
nice.
cover.
Yeah.
You can be
Yeah.
ugly.
It's like the Elephant Man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually
It's a prequel.
just like the elephant in every way.
That's so,
so
funny.
sorry.
The elephant
So-
man ripped off this movie.
Okay.
I think that was first.
It
was definitely
no,
first.
I'm going to play off your theme here and build upon it. Is that okay with you?
Go ahead, bro.
So,
I
I think a lot of the themes in this show that we've kind of, or excuse me, this movie are on like the metatextual level, which we talked about a little bit when it comes to the actual like Scooby-Doo mythology. Maybe not mythology, but everything about Scooby-Doo. And in the original show, obviously, it's monsters that are really just evil, corporate, greedy people behind it. And that's like what I think the show is kind of teaching children a little bit, is that monsters aren't real, but human monsters are. Because pretty
Yes.
much all of them throughout, not all, but a lot of them are just like greed fueled monsters.
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
one's like, all right, let's hit them. Let's take it a step further. Let's take all of our Scooby-Doo lore that teaches you that, flip it on its head, like you said, and teach us the next lesson, which is what you got to, which is there are like, not everything that looks evil is bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes that friendly face is really the scary one. You know, the
Yeah.
friendly Southern hospitality is the scary one. And,
Yeah, I mean, Southern hospitality is a perfect example.
Exactly. You know where you get the drift of where I'm going. And like some of the most dangerous people are the ones that put on a friendly smile and shake your hand. And so I think it's like, while we're moving into the adult timeline, we're taking the children's lesson and then elevating it to the next level for the adults and continuing. And maybe also with the times changing, I think, thinking, I'm going to get real crazy with it. Pre-Vietnam, we saw things more, a lot of people say that we saw things a little more black and white because we were like the good guys in World War II.
Yeah.
Then you have Korea and Vietnam, which are much more gray area wars. And obviously Scooby-Doo, some people say they're draft dodgers, which I think is hilarious. That's why they're out there traveling the world
Hell yeah,
during the
dog.
60s and 70s.
for them.
And then post that, you have a much more gray area world, especially post-Cold War. And so this is the more gray area take on the lesson. So, see what I'm saying?
All right.
You follow me?
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
I'm following.
I told you I was going to pull something from my ass.
What's cool about the next movie too, which is Ghost, is that the theme, like one of the big themes or takeaways from that movie is like it's time to trust your sexual feelings about these three women. Like,
Yes, facts.
these are hot women, and everyone agrees.
That was my awakening. You know?
That's when he stopped being afraid
Hex
of
girls.
women.
Yeah, that was the. Well, no, I
No,
continued being
I'm
afraid
more
of them, but I started being
I
attracted
realized
to them
that
also.
I liked being afraid of women.
Yeah.
I like scary women.
See, I thought you were going to go the route that there's another twist with Ben being the bad guy and he's like the friendly face that's really
Yeah, there's
using
all
them.
that going
right,
on.
come
I could barely pay attention to any of that.
Well,
There's all
either
them
way,
hot
my
ladies
whole
running
point
around.
was we're going from more black and white bad guys, good guys to more nuanced, and that's the way of the world. So,
Yeah.
you know, cool.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts about this particular film before we play a little this or that Scooby-Doo edition?
I have a closing thought.
Okay, go ahead.
I think this movie's excellent. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be. I can't give it a 10 out of 10 when we go to rate, but I actually think this is like an excellent, not just children's movie, but animated like film. I think it's kind of really important, at least to Scooby-Doo, which has been going on forever, and is very important to me in my life. So, good movie.
Great movie.
Oh,
I love a movie with effort. Really,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
goes a long way.
This movie
right.
rules, and I feel like in most movies this is the case, but it really is especially so in this one, where it's like understanding where this movie came from, the like years of Scooby-Doo before it, the lull that happened in between the last show and this, like all that just really enhances what this movie means, why it's so good. You know, the more you know, the better it gets.
I agree. Yeah.
All right. Before we get to rating, let's do some this or that. Let's go. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island or Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
Oh, you're gonna pick the hardest one for me to do right away.
I'm doing them in order.
You do this every time.
Pick.
Zombie Island for me.
I also want to say Zombie Island.
But you love the Hex
But
Girls.
I love The Witch's Ghost. I like a lot of things about The Witch's Ghost. A lot of similar twists. And I love the vibes of it. But I think I have to go Zombie Island.
Okay. Zombie Island or Alien Invaders?
Zombie Island for me. I love Alien Invaders also, though.
I also love Alien Invaders, and I think I'm going to go with Alien Invaders.
Oh.
I love that friggin' movie, man.
I love it, but...
Okay.
Sorry.
Zombie Island or Cyber Chase?
Zombie Island. Cyber Chase is my least favorite of the four.
I agree.
I like it still, but...
It's gonna be Cyber Chase for me, Doc. I actually really love Cyber Chase.
I like
that
it.
is maybe one of my favorite Scooby-Doos of all time.
I just think
Cyber
this
Chase
The
was...
fuck?
really kicks ass in my...
I think it kicks ass.
In
I
my
just think
opinion.
Zombie Island's so important.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
think the
like,
effort level's
it's the
highest in
first,
that.
so I don't want to bias it because it was the first to do it, but I think Cyber Chase is just so... I mean, it just friggin' rules.
I don't love that one.
What's your favorite of the four, then?
It'd probably be Cyber Chase. Honestly, that was probably
Wow.
not like my rating system was probably way off there. I'd probably, if I had to rate them, I'd do Cyber Chase, Zombie Island, Alien Invaders, Witch's Ghost.
Witch's Ghost your least favorite? Interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, like, acknowledging that they're all fantastic. The Zuby Quadrillion is my that's my jam.
Okay.
I think my order is release order, although there are days I might put Witch's Ghost over Zombie Island. But this most recent watch made me really adore it. So
So good.
Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island or Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf?
Zombie Island.
Yeah, it is Zombie Island.
Yes.
Reluctant Werewolf. Honestly, there is something really lovely and
charming.
charming about those movies.
Having owned that on
Come on,
DVD and that
Booze
being,
Brothers is better than
that
Reluctant.
was the one that I watched the most, and
Yeah.
so I hate it.
Reluctant Werewolf was the racing one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Zombie Island or Ghoul School?
Zombie Island.
Zombie Island.
Ghoul School's good though.
Ghoul School is good. Ghoul School had that lady that sort of looked like a swamp thing Medusa, right?
Yeah, I think
She's-
that there was all the
she's
students. They were all real monsters too. Apparently.
Yeah,
so.
she was like she was the villain, but I think she also sort of worked for the school, and she inadvertently
don't
sort of
remember.
helped them through. She scared the fuck out of me as a kid. She was
More
so terrifying.
women than I
looking.
was
Look it up.
afraid of.
I to this day I'm still afraid of women.
You got another one for us?
Zombie Island or Scooby-Doo live action?
Oh, that's
The first or the second?
The first. That's why
first.
I said
I have to say Zombie Island. I love Scooby-Doo live action for what it's doing, but I think where Zombie Island elevates and adores Scooby-Doo, I think James Gunn adores Scooby-Doo, it's like definitely more making fun of it.
I was just going to say the same thing. It feels a little bit more like...
It's a little more mean-spirited. I like it for that. But
Yeah. I don't know. I love Zombie Island, but I truly watch the live-action Scooby-Doo maybe 3 to 5 times a year. So it's that one for me.
Okay.
Oh shit! But
That's how I feel.
I still like it. I'm fine with him being a little more mean spirited with it
So
because I think
good.
it's perfect for what. Similar to how this one is building on the backs of everything else, I think that one is doing the same. In so many ways.
Yeah. You can't do Zombie Island after Zombie Island, right? You got to do something else.
Yeah. Okay, final one, Zombie Island or Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
Zombie Island
Zombie
for me
Island,
again.
yeah.
Zombie Island won out for me. I think
Yeah.
I picked it over everything.
Yeah.
All-time fave.
I just think it's
Damn,
really
bitch.
good. I don't even know if it's my fave. I just think it's the best. I
Fair.
don't even know if it's my fave. It probably is, but
Fair enough. All right, let's rate this bitch.
let's rate it.
Rate it.
Oh, how do I even rate this? This feels unfair.
I don't know how
You
to
guys
rate
still
it.
using the traditional
We're using
rating
both.
system?
both.
We're using both right now, and there's controversy within us.
Because Hannah just thinks that mine should always line up with math, and they don't.
Here's the
Which
thing,
is why I
right?
like your
It's-
system.
Yeah, it's not about like if you're trying to go, anything under a 5 might as well be a 1 on a 1 to 10 rating scale. It does not give you degrees of badness. It just gives you bad.
Yeah.
Or it gives you moderately good or great. There's only like 3 things that happen. There's no medium. There's no I feel indifferent towards this.
So,
Yes.
and that's why I've been using it. So I'll break the scale right now for you, Hannah. I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. I think
Okay.
it's pretty excellent for what it is. But I'm going to give it a +5 out of 5
There
from
it
rating
is,
scale
yeah.
because I love it. And I think it's important. And I think everyone should watch it. And
Okay.
because it just changed my life,
Okay.
Hell yeah.
when I saw
Okay.
it as a child.
So are we using like 1 to 10 as in like quality of film versus -5 to
I'm not
5
answering. You can
as
use them
in
as I want.
like personal
No.
love and enjoyment?
I think those 2 things would influence you the same way, right?
I don't know.
Or they might not. I think
For me,
person
they
to person, like some people don't care about that high a quality film. They just like how it makes them feel. I
do.
famously have a friend, Frankie, fucking getting called out, dog. He likes bad things. He likes bad things. He likes not very good movies, but he just likes how he laughs and enjoys them.
Yeah.
I think there's something really beautiful and valid about that. So
So think about like From Dusk Till Dawn. I gave a 6 out of 10. I adore that movie. But it's like as a movie, it's a 6 out of 10. But for me, like in terms of me, it's probably like a +4 or +5. Like it's like this is a must-see movie.
Okay, see, I feel like you're splitting it how I just vocalized.
That might be how it is. But
I'm
Matt described it.
I'm trying to fully get this 1 out of 10 business out of here. I'm anti 1 out of 10
Oh, just
rating
go to-
system.
All right, well-
just a -5 to 5.
I have
Okay,
to do
fine.
I have to do 1 out of 10 because of Letterboxd though. So
Awful.
Okay.
Primates.
Go ahead.
I will also be giving this a 5 from a -5 to 5 scale. I
Hell yeah.
have incredibly positive, personal, also negative memories about this, but the negative ones sort of
make it better now.
bolster
right?
it. Yeah, bolster it even more. This is a movie that I've grown up with, and I watch it now, and I still think it's just as good, just as fun.
I think I thought it was funnier this time around.
Yeah,
like
it's,
I might have even
it's a
liked it
friggin'
more.
funny movie. It's got dope songs. The whole story rules. Every part of this, it ticks all the boxes for me.
It's like when you go back and watch Shrek or Shrek 2.
Oh,
As an
yeah,
adult,
yeah.
and
Fuck me
you're
up.
just like, oh my god.
There's nothing better than freaking going back and seeing something that you loved as a kid and being like, oh, this shit's actually good. That rules.
Yeah, I would give this out of 5, a -5 to 5. I'll give it a 4.
Okay, all right. And what's your 0 or 1 to 10?
I don't fucking know for this movie.
Who gives a
Oh,
shit,
damn.
Matt? You and your letterbox, you can have each other. How about that?
It'll come up after
Maybe I
this
will.
in an episode. Don't worry.
Okay, well, feel done, ready to be done then?
Yeah.
I could talk about Scooby-Doo all day.
I know, that's
would.
why
Matt
I'm
and I
wrapping
could.
it
I'm
up.
gonna, I'm gonna cut you. Hannah's giving us the wrap it up. We're
Yeah.
gonna wrap you up and keep talking.
Bitch, I wanted
Yeah.
to keep this under an hour.
I don't care.
Ain't happening, dog.
No.
And we're done.
Oh,
I've been Matt Hannah. Matt, thanks for joining us.
God.
Thank you for listening to Horror Hour with the Hannahs. Make sure to listen to future episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever else you can find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube, where we post episodes and shorts. You can follow us at Horror Hour with the Hannahs on TikTok and Instagram, as well as at Horror Hour on Blue Sky for more content. If you like the podcast, please follow and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. Happy hauntings!